it's time for a book haul. In no particular order. I have been collecting these books since January. Some are thrifted, some are new, some have been on my wish list for forever, and some I've just bought on a whim. I'm going to start with The Forester's Daughter by Claire Keegan. I love Claire Keegan's works. I've read all except one, I think, or two. I don't remember the name, but it's one of her first works that I haven't read. And yeah, I've been into short stories lately, so I got this pretty much at the beginning of this year, and I've already read it. And I think the thing that really draws me to her writing is that even though most of her books are very short and very simple stories, they just hit. They just hit very hard for me. I find myself very attached to her characters at the end of her books, and yeah, I like that. I think she's excellent at fleshing out her characters, and even though her stories are pretty simple, they do get her point across. And I like that she writes a lot about family dynamics, and yeah, will be recommending her work for forever. Okay, so this year I promised myself I would be buying or reading more of James Baldwin's works. So I got my hands on a few of his works. First, I got this beautiful edition of If Beale Street Could Talk. And as you can see, it's a pretty short book. I've already read it a few days ago. I finished it, and I must say this might be my favorite James Baldwin, although I have not read many of his works yet. I've only read Giovanni's Room and this one, but I think this is my favorite. Very excited to get more into his works and explore more of his views and just his writing and see how it has evolved. And then I got this beautiful edition of Go Tell Down the Mountain. I cannot wait to get into this. This is James Baldwin's first major work, and it's, I think, considered an American classic. And I have been wanting to get into more classics, so this is a great opportunity. Obviously, James Baldwin is considered to be one of the great American classics, so yeah, can't wait. And I think even though they do not match, both editions are very beautiful. And then in the same vein, I got my first nonfiction work of his. It's Dark Days, and I think it features a few of his essays on his own experiences of prejudice. So yeah, very excited to get into this as well. And then continuing on with short stories or essays, I got Notes on Camp by Susan Sontag. This isn't my first Susan Sontag. I've already read this, but I think the one of the reasons I got it is because it's very short, and again, I quite like short stories lately. And also, it said on the back that there would be an essay on high and low culture. Obviously, this book is called Notes on Camp, so I did expect one of the essays to be about camp and to go into, the definition of the word and all of that, and it did. Not my favorite Susan Sontag, but I did very much appreciate her essay on high and low culture. I wish it was a little longer, but then again, this is called Notes on Camp, so I don't know what I expected. Honestly, yeah, not my favorite Susan Sontag, but pretty short read, so I think very glad to add this to my collection as well. So as mentioned, I've been looking forward to reading more James Baldwin, and then my first read of this year was Beloved by Toni Morrison, and I had heard that Beloved is one of her more intense books, and I didn't really think about how intense it would be. But I'm glad that Beloved was my first book of hers that I read. I think she is such an exceptional writer in how she structures her books, and in the case of Beloved, I could see what she wanted the reader to take away from the book just in how she structured the book. I cannot wait to read more of her works. So I got Sula by her, by Toni Morrison. Um, I have heard so many times that this is supposed to be her easiest book to read because supposedly it's not as heavy and it's about girlhood and being a more independent woman. I can't wait to see what she makes of female friendships and about and of girlhood, and yeah, very much excited for this one. And then in the same vein of classics, I got two very big books. Did not know these would be this big, but I got East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Not my first Steinbeck. I read Of Mice and Men in high school. I don't remember anything. So I do consider this like my first genuine introduction into his works. It's big and the font size is very small. So this is going to take me a while to get through, but I'm saving this for spring because I don't know why, but I feel like I can't I can't be reading this right now. I need like warmer weather for this. Also the cover is beautiful. One of the reasons I got it. So then another very much big book I got is Too Much of Life by Clarice Lispector, The Complete Chronicles. Apparently, I wouldn't say I regret getting this, but I have heard that her writing is generally a bit harder to get into. Um, you know, I love a challenge, but then again, maybe I should have started with something a little easier, a little more palatable. I don't know, we'll see. But I am thinking of maybe first reading Hour of the Stars by her, and then moving on to Too Much of Life. One of my goals for this year is to read more translated works. So I got All Our Yesterdays by Natalia Ginzberg. And honestly, I did not know this was translated. It's translated from Italian. And honestly, the only reason I got this is because Sally Rooney does the introduction to this. Very much looking forward to this one as well. I trust everything that Sally Rooney says, writes, whatever. And then a book that has saturated social media like no other, I feel like, is I'm gonna show I think you guys know what this book is. It's Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, honestly, but I've already read the first few chapters. I think I'm like 70 pages in, and the one thing I'm taking away from her writing so far is her descriptions. This is set in winter, so I am a reader that really appreciates very detailed, almost lyrical descriptions, and I think she does great work in this, doing exactly that. It's not very long, so I'm trying to savor it actually, because I do really appreciate her storytelling. This is actually the first book I have of this publishing house. I don't know where they came from, but suddenly all of social media, all of Bookstagram is full of these. I think like books with minimalistic covers are making a comeback, and I am here for it. So yeah, very excited. So that's the book haul. I'll be taking some of these with me when I go to Turkey, which you'll be seeing in the next part of this video, probably. Yeah, probably will either take East of Eden or Sula with me. So yeah, very much excited for all of these. I'll be updating you on which ones I get to. I've been trying to like consciously curate my library more. So yeah, that's the goal for this year as well. Yeah. I'm about to leave the house. I'm going to meet up with a friend and we're going to go to an exhibition, which I'm very excited for. It's of German Impressionistic art. Impressionism is one of my favorite art movements. So yeah, very excited. Before I go, I wanted to show you what I'm wearing and what I'm reading because I saw one of my favorite creators on YouTube and on TikTok, Melissa, also share what she's been wearing and what she's been reading. Let's start with the outfit. I got this very cute wool cardigan from Reserved a few days ago. I got it because it's 100% wool and I got it for a pretty good deal, I would say. And then I'm just wearing a skirt, which you cannot see underneath it. It's a black skirt. I might change, I'm not sure. And then just a brown scarf. More interestingly, what have I been reading? I've been reading Public Library and Other Stories by Ali Smith. I love Ali Smith. I've read her seasonal quartet last year. I think I started the quartet 2 years ago and then I read every book in its corresponding season, which was a very good idea. It was a very fulfilling experience, I would say. So yeah, I got my hands on a few of her older works. I quite like how this one is structured. She has these little almost essay-like chapters in between her fictional writing. And those are about just public libraries in general, important historical facts about public libraries. So yeah, I think it's definitely something different. I'm going to be wearing either my wool jacket or my trench coat over this because it is quite cold still. But yeah, see you at the exhibition.